Columbus has literally frozen over because Indiana is the champion of college football. Welcome to the live show presented by Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems and Tansky Power Sports. That is Justin Zwick, Nicole Cox, Bobby Carpenter. I am Austin Ward. And the Big Ten, more importantly, Bob, the kings of college football.
Yeah, 3 different titles, 3 different years. No SEC teams playing against them. Nick Saban said it. NIL killed it because you have to pay guys to come north. But, I mean, that's maybe that's the reality.
Paying guys.
Well, I'm not sure that's the response that anyone should be.
Keep it above board. We'll pretend. We'll stick our heads in the sand.
Fair enough.
I think they were paying them to come south before, and it was just below the table.
Yeah.
But I guess we all have our take.
Well, whatever. Listen, I have my truth. Nick has his truth. Everybody has their own truth. You know, there's not one universal truth anymore. You get to craft your own truth based upon what you feel, Nicole, how it feels good inside. So,
I agree with that.
Yeah. But,
you do?
Somewhat.
I mean, there is some level of
What about the standard?
Yeah.
Guys, we are going to book a show. I've got
all
full
standards.
Notes. I just texted the other day. I just had random thoughts pop in my head about the standard. It's the standard.
That's like stuff that happens to Schlegs. Like I just had thoughts pop into my head about like commitment, standard, dedication, and he just starts writing down like the stream of consciousness pouring out of his brain.
Yes, guys, you don't want to be inside the set. I mean, I lay in bed at night. I have a pad of paper next to the bed because I'm just like thinking of things and I write them down.
Just let your hand be the waterfall. It just all flows right out of there.
I wish I could just be more laid back, but it's just not who I am.
It's okay. It's okay. Your intensity is what sets you apart.
Well, what did you write down last night about Indiana being the champions of college football?
Well, after the conversation we just had pre-show, I always like to find the best in things. I have to say, it's weird to watch a game and not kind of root for someone, and so obviously
you kind of find. I go into some games, you kind of find your rooting interest.
Yes.
I don't really know who I'm going to cheer for, and then you just kind of start liking one team more.
But immediately, remember how last weekend, I apologize for not apologize.
No.
Whoa. This is not sorry, Nicole.
4 minutes in.
I don't like to speak negatively about anyone, but it drove me nuts with the Miami team, how arrogant they are and just rough. And
Michael Irvin was pretty quiet last night.
You mean Mark Fletcher trying to punch when
how about that? Swinging. Hold on, buddy. He hugged Fernando, and then he swung on somebody.
They're just the disrespect, I guess, and just have some etiquette and just I don't know. So
that just means that the U is fully back.
Well, and just watching that on the field immediately, I was just like, ugh, they can't win, And then Indiana just. Fernando Mendoza is so sweet.
Such a likable guy.
He is so sweet, and his family. And now.
What a badass on that run, by the way.
All game long. He got his butt kicked.
I guess I should have
Oh,
known that he had it in him after that Caden Curry shot on him.
Pop back up.
In Indianapolis. Like, kudos to him. But, yeah.
So,
Heisman moment.
I would have loved for the Buckeyes to be there. Obviously, that's our team. But if you had to pick one last night for the Big Ten, it was so great to see them. And I like when the underdog wins. Now, after our conversation about how programs now are, because of NIL, are getting better when they never would have been, that's a whole nother piece. But
don't worry about that tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. Just for the game, it was nice to see a team that had never won.
Yeah.
It's really special to watch something like that. It's like how we're all going to feel when the Browns win the Super Bowl or the Texans.
Whoa.
I think everybody will be happy because it will literally be a piece of history because no one's ever witnessed it.
I mean, I think Indiana, the only team they have beat was the Browns last championship in 64.
I can't even
I think it was 64, 65. I mean, Indiana won the Big Ten in 67. I think they won it before that in like 41. I mean, they've won 2 Big Ten
World
titles.
War II was the last time, right?
But I'm talking national title.
Oh, yeah. I'm just talking Big Ten championships.
Yeah.
That's how bad. 2 in 100 years.
They had the second most losses in the history of college football.
And they had the most coming into this year. They just didn't add any.
Just on the climb.
They just didn't add any. So that's why I couldn't cheer for Miami fans. It's not there's some of the, and I have friends that are on that played there, and they're great guys. Some of them
are obviously great guys.
I think Malachi Tony's a really nice guy. Like you watch him, you listen to him. I think he's a really good dude. They've got some really nice guys on their team. Their fans are insufferable though. They're brutal, and largely after the Big Ten championship, I'm walking out of Lucas Oil. Sure, there's going to be some idiots in every group. Most of the fans are like, gosh, we never thought we'd be here. Like, we're just happy we finally beat you guys. I mean, it's been like 38
Going
years.
into that game, they were like, we got a good team, but it's Ohio State.
I was like, man, I not that I would want Indiana to beat Ohio State, but I said I hope you guys win every other game unless you're playing us.
Yep.
I love Fernando Mendoza, great guy, great story. His mom's fantastic. Kurt Cignetti's kind of smug and a little arrogant, but if you watch Indiana play, they're really well disciplined. They don't make mistakes. They're team guys. They play really hard. They're not out. They're not like me guys. None of them are.
No.
They celebrate together as a team, and I'm like, it's really hard not to cheer for a team like that.
Holly Rose said on ESPN, it was on Instagram, but she goes, you guys, I just left practice and I feel like I'm going to cry. Like these guys just got done and they're going around hugging each other, saying what a great job they're doing and pumping each other up. And she said it was just that camaraderie and just what great people these guys are.
Well, I think Cignetti said, like, we don't have many 5-stars that are going to go to the NFL, high picks, but the sum of what we have is much better than, and that's what it's all about. And I think we're starting to see that shift of trying to do that with other programs, right? You can't really build like you used to be.
Getting older guys, but guys that care, guys that buy in, like
have experience and,
guys that made big plays in the moment. And so what's amazing is they talk about all the transfers that came in. And, largely that's what that team was. But then you've got Mr. Becker out there on the edge, who's like the lone holdover in the wide receiver room. Everyone else left, and he chose to stay. And, I mean, I don't know if he would have ever thought about playing in the NFL before, but there's a good chance I think he'll get drafted.
He's going to have a good chance at it.
Yeah, I mean, he'll get drafted. The plays that he made in the big moments, the guy plays special teams. He's tough. I mean, made a huge play against Ohio State. And I'm like, please, just don't tell me you spent all your good plays against us. Save some left. And in the biggest moments, he made them. And that's it. Like, you compile all of those guys together, and you have a kid in Fernando Mendoza as well who couldn't even get a preferred walk-on to Miami. He's from Christopher Columbus High School, where a bunch of those coaches went. I mean, heck,
including the head coach.
Cristobal went there. He couldn't even get a preferred walk-on. And to then go full circle
across the country
after they robbed him. I was trying to remember the one game I watched him play, and it was the Cal game 2 years ago on a Friday night where they didn't call a targeting. There was obviously a targeting. They gave the game basically to Miami. I was like, that's it. That's the one that I watched. Yeah. That's the one Cal game I watched with Mendoza. And for him, and he even brought that up to circle all the way back around in Miami against Miami, his mom there, his whole family. Like it was just a great scene, and they do it the right way. They do it the right way, and that's why it was so hard. Not that I like Miami at all, but I mean, it's people say, "Oh, you can't cheer for Indiana." I'm like, man, they haven't won anything.
And the Big Ten.
Well, I grew up cheering for the Big Ten, no matter what. And it's you want them to win every game except when they play Ohio State, and because that just makes the conference better. It makes everything better. So I was all in on Indiana.
And teams that do it, and the other thing is teams that do it the right way, man. Like I've gotten to the point in my life where I have a great deal of respect for people who do things the way, at least that I believe that they should be done. And I think that there is a certain standard, if you will, of how you should go out and conduct yourself. And I'm all for individuality.
I agree with that.
And you can celebrate and do things, but those guys celebrate together and they celebrate as a team. And that's what did Mike Vrabel say? You can all have your own personality, but you can't. Oh gosh, it'll hit me eventually. But basically, you can be yourself, but we all have to have the same commitment level to the team.
Yeah, difference between the individual personalities and the team's identity and coming together as one. And that's why I think, because there have been so many people, Bob, over the last couple of weeks that have said, I don't want to hear brotherhood anymore. This is NIL. This is free movement era for players. I mean,
it's like the 60s, 70s.
If you still don't have that culture in your building, which Curt Cignetti did at Indiana, without question, all of us are talking about what we've seen or experienced, whether that was Ohio State against Indiana or watching them against Miami and celebrating the national championship. The brotherhood is still a real thing for the Buckeyes. And just because they won't be able to stockpile 65 4- and 5-star players doesn't mean the ones that are staying. I mean, Austin Sierreveld, Carson Hensman, Kenyatta Jackson, Jermaine Matthews, the starting lineup being intact. You can't tell me that that's not significant. And you have to find a balance, I think, between the two things. And in a lot of ways, it's a mashup for Ohio State of Miami spending and Indiana's veteran approach, and putting those together. Ohio State is, I think, uniquely positioned to do those, maybe more than anybody else. I know, Nicole, that was sort of what you wanted to say. The things are not broken at Ohio State.
Exactly.
And the two teams that beat them were playing on Monday night for the national championship. We made that point before, but you look at the entirety of this era, it's small tweaks that Ohio State's making right now. They don't have to make wholesale changes. The Woody is still got a roof on it. It's intact.
There's some holes in that roof, but
stop.
No, that's just literally there's some holes in the roof.
Yeah.
I just had this thought pop into my head that I feel the Brotherhood. I know the Brotherhood has I don't know what the percentage is, but a large percentage of the success of the team. 100%. I believe in that, because if you don't have the Brotherhood, it's this like unseen element behind the scenes that really goes into the performance on the field. So I feel that when we're recruiting, the guys that have that mentality of knowing it's more than just the money, those are the guys we want here anyway. So I feel like, yes, it's still going to all be affected, but it's still, there's something to be said for that, and we're going to get those guys in recruiting.
Well, it doesn't mean that they're all going to play for free. That's just not.
No, they won't play for free. I'm saying
it's okay. You can get paid to do a job and still love your job.
Like
those two things aren't mutually
and
exclusive.
your coworkers.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to leave for maybe just a little bit more money when you know in the long run being a part of the Brotherhood and the success of that and what will take you to the NFL. So,
and I think it's also pretty. I mean, it's not early on. We've been in this for a few years now, but you see these guys go into the portal and maybe not land anywhere. And so as that continues to happen and you start seeing, oh, man, my buddy got in there and it didn't go so well for him. He thought he was going to get this from so-and-so and it didn't. That might start giving these guys a little bit of pause and saying, I'm going to go and try this because then I'm going to find myself with no home and I'm not going to be playing, Division I football.
Well, the portal, Jay-Z, can be a real adventure.
It is. It definitely is.
1,000% an adventure.
But if you're looking for your next adventure, head to Tansky Power Sports. It's your one-stop shop for ATVs, dirt bikes, golf carts, and so much more. Whether you're looking for speed, power, or versatility, Tansky Power Sports has something for everyone with the best brands and expert service. Visit Tansky Power Sports today at 2491 West Dublin Granville Road or browse their huge selection online at TanskyPowersports.com. Tansky Power Sports, where the adventure begins. And on a Tuesday, it can continue with the 5-tool player, Bob.
There we go. The favorite of Anthony Schlegel.
Yep.
The mac and cheese bites. Berm loves them with some hot sauce.
I don't remember the last time he had one, though. He's probably
that's
counting
true.
He's eating celery over there and drinking water.
Oh, my gosh. What happened to our
He's
friend?
eating water and drinking water.
Yeah.
It's
crispy water, as he
it's
calls
the
it.
mac and cheese you don't have to eat with a fork.
Correct.
Or a spoon.
It's a bite.
You can just use a little
finger food,
tasty
baby.
bite
Let's go.
It is.
and toss it right in the beak. They're $3 all day long, and they're delicious.
I don't know what you
cheesy
how you
and
could possibly
creamy
beat
inside.
that.
It's so good.
It's an elite
It's definitely one of the favorites on the
appetizer
menu.
Thursday. It is $3 at your local participating Roosters. What else is going on, Nicole? I know you're very busy today.
We opened Marysville last week.
Whoa!
And our Roosters in Holland, Toledo area.
I thought you meant like over in like the Dutch.
That would be.
Yeah.
I don't
Roosters
foresee that
International.
happening anytime in the near future, but never say never.
One border at a time.
Yeah, but we're really excited. I don't know if Berm's been to that location yet, but it's two stories.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty cool.
What?
So I can't wait to go see it. But they're both doing great, and so we're very grateful to the communities, the Marysville community. I'm saying this because I've personally been there.
Well, they've been probably waiting for a
They
minute.
have been so supportive, and Holland as well. I've actually had people that we've met through the Buckeye Cruise that live up there just saying how excited everyone is, and we just appreciate it so much.
We did get some schedule news, Nicole, that I know you've been waiting for.
Yes.
And it is a matchup, the first one confirmed from the Big Ten. The last two national champions going head-to-head on October 17th in Bloomington, Indiana.
Big noon.
Big
You
noon
think?
kickoff.
Probably will have to be. I think we can just
1,000%.
Hey, at least they get the big noon at their.
Yeah.
You know what? People always you know what? Everybody can just shut their pie holes for a minute on Indiana.
There we go.
Because the solution for the big noon for Ohio State was like, you need to have another good team in the Eastern time
Soak
zone.
up the windows.
Yeah, because you can't have USC and Oregon and Washington. They're not playing those at 9 a.m. Michigan has been up and down. Penn State, we'll see what happens. Now you got Indiana out there, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
They can grab some of those big noon windows so we can play maybe a 3:30, maybe a night game every now and then.
How about it?
Gobble them up.
So, yeah.
Listen, that's it.
We just...
Defending national champs.
I hadn't thought of that, Bob.
Get the marketing out there.
Give them
I mean, where's
big noon
Ohio
kickoff.
State's SID? Whoever replaces Jerry, they should be. That would be their pitch when I go in there to go talk to Ross about the job. Indiana, the defending national champs.
And they're going to say,
see them live at noon.
Look at these numbers. No, we still want Ohio State.
I don't know. They might be the darlings.
All their fans are in the stadium.
That's true.
That no longer
they have
just
the
largest
largest living alumni base. So please explain to me how they can't have people that watch the games.
Well,
maybe now they will.
Had to pay handsomely to get into the stadium.
I mean, it was what do you know what it closed at? What the get in the door price?
I saw $3,500 is what
I saw it get up to
39.
I know it dropped into the mid to low 30, like 33, 34. Yeah. Maybe it closed around. I mean, Nicole, those were for seats like that's the corner of the stadium wall, and that's where you're sitting.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, so that's one.
Yeah. But the excitement, I mean, just to see the streets there and it. Because it had never happened.
Oh, yeah.
They were witnessing history.
They're probably
so many
just
Indiana
going
fans are like, I don't even have a ticket to the game. Yep. I'm just down here hoping to maybe get something for under $3,000.
Well, that's what Jacob Hester I do XM with. He was at the Peach Bowl, and he goes, we're going down the elevator to the Peach Bowl, playing in Oregon. And he goes, the people are talking about buying their flights and hotels already for Miami. He's like, not like talking about it, like, do you have yours? Yes. Like, get it now. We'll get down there and we'll figure it out.
It was historic, Nicole.
It is.
And that's going to be a massive matchup on October 17th. And I think we can pencil it in as a big noon kickoff. We're going to have the full schedule next Tuesday at 5:30.
They should do like the NFL, like just a little weekly release.
That'd be great. The one that I've seen, and I think, Bob, you've probably seen as well, would be about the ideal outcome for Ohio State, spacing out some of the big games. But it's going to be challenging. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, they have 5 teams that are top 20.
In the way too early top 25, but still.
Well, also, the way too early number 1 in the country, according to On3, is Ohio State. So they probably are still pretty talented, Nicole. I think
they are. I have no doubt in that. So I mean, I'm going to be thinking about our conversation just all day, all week, and
Well, thank Birm for that. I know it wasn't my fault.
Birm.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Got her going.
Negative Birm?
No, it's okay.
She's not sorry for being mad about it either.
He's trying to get her off her game,
I'm
throwing out the Texans game and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, we don't need
CJ.
to talk about that.
I heard that Ryan Day. This was a narrative I saw online. Where Ryan Day, or people were talking about possibly in the media, that Ryan Day doesn't do a good enough job of getting his quarterbacks ready to play in the NFL. So like CJ's interception performance.
That's on Ryan. Huh?
They're kind of like,
that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Well. I'm like.
His rookie year was the most incredible year ever.
They've been in the playoffs every year he's been there.
Yeah.
And I believe he's now 3 full years into NFL experience. So
That's awesome.
Do they not coach anyone? Is that the case, Bob? Do they not coach you in the NFL?
People can't give up on CJ.
I'm not giving up on CJ.
He is still so great.
He had a bad game.
It happens.
Picked a bad day, and New England is a good team.
New England is
Drake
great.
May had some problems holding on to the football as well in that game. Doesn't look like it was that fun to be out there in the snow in New England, but whatever.
It's okay. I just want to hug CJ. I just felt so bad.
Just like the Browns fans.
Yep.
Always next year.
There is.
All right. Well, we can talk about all of those narratives and so much more when we come back in here for the live show at Roosters. It's a fun casual joint. Thanks to Nicole Cox for hanging out with us for a little bit. Birm will be here right after this break as we come back. Thanks to Tansky Power Sports and Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems.
The Roosters Foundation helps us be able to give back to the community. It's part of our culture within the company.
They donate to organizations that are near and dear to their heart, and we're so fortunate to have been with Roosters now for a long time.
They always go above and beyond to help support our foundation to further help veterans.
It's just a wonderful feeling to know that Roosters supports the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer.
All the folks at Roosters are just genuinely kind folks, and they want to make a difference.
Thank you, Roosters Foundation.
Thank you, Roosters.
Thank you, Roosters.
Thank you, Roosters Foundation.
Precision engineering, rigorous attention to detail. A Bryant Evolution heating system is so well designed, it's as much of a joy to install as it is to use.
Good to go.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
Schedule your appointment today with Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric at carpentercolumbus.com.
Welcome back into Roosters. It is a fun casual joint. It is the live show, and Birm is here and just feeling great.
Why not?
Aren't you?
Why
vibe
not?
check?
Why not?
I don't know.
There's no Bengals game this weekend.
The
to stress
off season is officially here in college football. This is the greatest time of the year. The off season.
I don't.
These 3 weeks of off season when everyone's working 24 hours a day.
The off season is over. Actually,
wait, no. Well, you can still pluck guys out of the portal.
Well,
like all the fish are in the pond, but you can still pull the fish.
You know what's funny though is you think about like last year's Ohio State team today, the national championship game over.
Yes.
They wake up, you have the press conference, they get on the plane from Atlanta, and like the conversations are already
the game was actually today. It was the 20th.
Right. So the conversations are already starting, like in the plane, like, well, I'm going to leave. Well, Oregon's offering me $2 million. Like, so Indiana doesn't have to worry about that because all their players are 26 years old.
So people go, why
Mendoza got into the portal, his brother, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you know,
they brought
because Indiana will bring in Josh Hoover or someone else to be their quarterback, and like the Mendoza family,
not somebody else.
The Mendoza family, it's like, thank you very much. Now get out. So it's cool for them, I guess, that they got.
It's crazy though because he has 3 years left. So I was thinking, okay, maybe he sits behind Hoover for a year. Maybe they compete.
Well, maybe they only brought him in to bring his brother in.
Oh, maybe that's
what a
part of
theory.
it.
So, but who cares? Good for him. He's won a national championship. Now he's going to be able to go play somewhere else. But Miami will be interesting to see who leaves that program because they didn't have a ton of like young guys that they recruited that were playing. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. But Ohio State
just swiped Darian Mensah like Friday at 11:55.
Did that happen?
What a heist!
Well, no, Duke is still fighting it. I think.
Still fighting. What does that mean? It hasn't happened. Duke is still fighting.
I mean, they're going to probably get their money
paid,
back,
aren't they? Yeah. I mean,
at least if you get your $4+ million back, that's helpful. If you're Duke, I mean, the fact that Duke,
but it's too late to spend it on anybody.
Duke is spending $4 million on a quarterback that they brought in from Tulane to win.
They won the ACC.
Games. I know, it's crazy.
They won the ACC. What are we talking about?
It's like the game.
And then
changed,
Miami
man.
swiped him. Like he got in the magically hopped in the portal like 5 minutes before after signing a contract.
So with a huge deal.
Yeah,
from what I read.
Is Curt Cignetti going to completely revamp the way people view college football, or is like this just a blip?
No. Well, here's the thing. I'm curious to see. He's won everywhere he's been.
Sure.
Google it.
His talent evaluation, he's talked about it. He's like, I want to shake their guys' hand. I want to see this. Like, I think that they'll probably go after some bigger fish, like younger guys coming out, but not a ton.
Well, they've already seen an uptick in high school recruiting. And I mean, that even last week at the Navy All-American
really
game.
Get any worse.
Like 3 guys, I think they had 3 guys commit last week at the Navy All-American game. Like their brand is growing. But when you look at a guy like that, it reminds you that there is still a very personal element to this game and to sports in general, because there are so many kids that are, let's just say, like socially awkward / dysfunctional.
I would find Curt Cignetti is socially, based upon him.
Right, but
like
that's a guy who obviously knows how to read talent. Like, and there are still like old school characteristics and idiosyncrasies. Like that's a guy who I know will play hard.
So I talked to on XM last week, we had 2 guys that played for him. Ben DiNucci, who was his quarterback, who was already, he transferred in, but he transferred before to JMU before Cignetti got there. And so he got a chance to talk about him and like his relationship and him growing him and making him a much better player and how they went like undefeated or whatever and be all these teams. And then for life, man, I can't remember. He's the receiver for, he played for him at Indiana last year, receiver for Minnesota now, Miles. Miles, I can't remember his last name, but he was a Texas Tech guy that went there. And great kid. His brother's in the Navy. I asked him if he's going to the game to watch Indiana. He's like, no. I'm like, do you consider yourself an Indiana, like, associated with the Hoosiers or more Texas Tech? Because he's a Dallas guy who was at Texas Tech for 3 years. He said, my diploma says Indiana. He's like, I like my buddies at Texas Tech, but I'm an Indiana guy. Like, what makes Curt Cignetti, like, how does he do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're one of the guys that came in from Texas Tech, and granted the fact that he played in the NFL, I'm guessing they probably tried to keep him.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing that you're talking about, Ben DiNucci, who played in the NFL, and this Miles, who's an NFL receiver. Like, it's actually like those are pretty good players. So
yeah, they're not just
Should we find out who this guy actually
Miles,
is?
it's going to kill me. He's
Miles.
He's from Indiana.
So what was the differences of coming from, like, Texas Tech?
I goes, I like Texas Tech, but he goes, I went and met with Curt Cignetti. And it's interesting. I was talking to my kids about this. We've been doing some, Bible studies, and I talk about the translations of going from different languages. I go, and not everything's like a direct translation. There's words in the Romance languages we don't have in English. Like in Greek, they had different stuff, and like you can't figure it out. Sometimes I go, so sometimes things get lost a little bit of what they are. And I said, that's sometimes when you meet people and you have a hard time, they're really unique, and you have a hard time describing them. And that's what then Miles is trying to go through all of this.
Miles Price.
Good job. Trying to go through it. And he goes, you just have to meet him. And he goes, there's like a confidence that's an arrogance. And he was like, I win. We're going to win. And he's like, making you feel like you want to be a part of something. I don't think he's an overly charismatic guy. I don't think he's like some sort of snake oil salesman, but he
doesn't have a lot of James Franklin to him.
Does not, but I think he identifies high character people who want to come in, who will play really hard, work really hard. I mean, there were chances for like both teams to fold. Miami, I give them a lot of credit for bouncing back. But like you look at the roster construction, like those guys, they just keep getting up and keep playing.
The traits that make you successful in sports are also the traits that are going to make you successful in most things in life. It's not really that
a secret.
That's what they say.
It's not really that hard to figure out. So like when you sit down and talk to someone,
yeah,
you can tell like if that person is someone that's going to actually buy in or not. And
the way he is with these guys is probably like, I think I really want to go play for this guy, or he's not
for us.
Yeah, he's not for me. I'm going to stay somewhere else. But once you get with him, you're like, and I win, I do this, and it's like he almost instills in you like, all right, yeah, I'm going to be here and we're going to win.
That's why they've got a veteran team and they don't make mistakes.
Yeah.
They may not be the most talented, but they have a veteran
and he
team.
probably harps on that, and it's like, we got to take care of the little things to be where we want to be.
So is he going to the Pittsburgh Steelers or not? Let's start the rumor. Let's start the rumor.
No.
Signetti to the NFL.
No, to the Browns.
He's not going. I don't think
he said he's not leaving. I don't think
he said he's a college. He said he's a college guy.
Probably.
I don't think he wants to coach in based upon how he talks about building a team. He's 62 years old. They're paying. I think
he's like 11+ mil. He'll get a raise. I'm sure he'll be in the 13 range after this.
I believe it's contractually mandated based on what he signed in the middle of the year that Indiana, not even withstanding the bonus that he's going to make, the deal he signed in September forces Indiana to pay him in the top 3 in college football. So he's getting a raise no matter what.
But Jim Harbaugh makes $16 million a year for the Chargers, right? So is there a world where a coach like that, who clearly is a winner and a culture builder in a place like Pittsburgh, and I only bring that up because he's from Pittsburgh, and he's, the Steelers obviously are a program and a franchise that always makes fairly smart decisions when it comes to what they do. Like, do you not go after a guy like that and say, here's $20 million? Because what does it matter in the NFL?
Well, because college football coaches don't have that level of success at the NFL, and he's never worked there.
I mean, maybe.
I don't know.
Stop trying to wish him out of.
I'm just saying,
a 5-year, $100
the rumors are
contract.
beginning. The rumors have started.
I just don't think.
And he shut them down himself.
I know. I just see when I see Ryan Day to Buffalo, people like immediately start to. I just want to see that happen to other programs. That's
he came from the NFL, so that makes more sense.
I get it, but he doesn't seem like a guy who wants to build a team the way they build it in the NFL. I think he likes identifying talent, developing,
kind of controlling his team, and putting it together.
Finding the right guys for him. OKGs.
Okay, so
our kind of guys.
So the bigger question then, Bob, and as someone who's in the building a lot over there, Jay-Z is someone who played, at a place like Ohio State. Like, what do the Buckeyes learn from Indiana? Because we've talked about it the last few weeks as far as roster construction, getting old, staying old, maybe going out there and bringing in more veteran depth as opposed to counting on high school seniors or first-year guys. But what else do you learn from watching, like, the greatest single season in the history of college football that was just finished by Indy freaking Anna?
I think it's having not just veteran guys, but the right type of veteran guys, and bringing in, guys who, like Will Howard's. Guys like that, Seth McLaughlin's.
Yep.
Like you look at Ohio State won last year, and you look at some of the guys they brought in. I mean, Seth
Caleb Downs.
Well, Caleb Downs is a great player.
Yeah.
But Seth McLaughlin, I mean, they were like ushering him out of Alabama.
Yeah.
Can't snap the ball, and maybe
Kansas State was like, "Well, you can't be our starter because
you're not good enough.
Yeah.
You're not talented.
Yeah, we want this other kid.
We got a better, younger guy, and getting older guys who don't make mistakes. They care, like they study. Like that India, you watched the game, there were no blown coverages. I mean, those guys were beating some of the throws, but the only, like, Malachi Toney breaking some tackles, and then the other one was a third down where Beck scrambles and he finds him across the middle in a busted play scramble situation. Like, so Indiana, their guys are there. Like,
I think their film study and their preparation for a game is, I mean, it almost feels like they know what's coming sometimes.
Yes.
And
it's like the NFL.
They play fast, they play hard, they come downhill on you, and it's like they've studied and know and prepared so well.
You look
for
at
each game.
the last interception, how well they disguised what they were doing. The corner's playing outside, leaking. He just drifts off and
There's nobody
slides
coming
underneath,
out to him.
and then all of a sudden the safety's flying over. I mean,
it does help that throw was absolutely
well. It wasn't very good.
Either player was going to pick that off.
Well,
Carson Beck is good.
The receiver was not going to get a hand on.
I want to know where that version of Carson Beck was when we were in Dallas.
I'll tell you, it came from the pressure that Indiana was getting up front, because that's the thing. Like, when I'm looking at this and saying, what does Ohio State learn? Right?
Bring pressure.
Bring pressure. You cannot in college football, no matter how experienced the quarterback is, if you let him stand back there and be comfortable, and Matt Patricia's defense was obviously the best defense in the country statistically all year long, but Ohio State did not force the issue enough on defense. And I think some of that is just the basic crap up front, like the stunts, the twists, the stuff that Ohio State just doesn't do, because there's almost like and I apologize for the word, and I'm sure people will be annoyed by it. It's almost like in Ohio State arrogance. Like, our players are better than yours, and we will just beat you.
We're going to beat you with our base defense.
Well, and some of that might be preceding Matt Patricia, especially in the front, of just not tons of stunning up there, because you saw some of it happen a little bit last year towards the end of the season.
And what happened then?
They got more sacks.
And what happened then?
They won a national championship.
Just curious if that's what happened then.
And one of the things with Matt Patricia, and Matt is phenomenal. You know, he was in New England for a long time. They had Tom Brady. And this Ohio State team, like, they're really good on offense, but some of it is just don't mess it up on the other side. Like, it's not worth trying to get 5 sacks and giving up two home runs.
Right.
It's a little bit of the Jim Knowles
defense, right?
Situation earlier. Like, dude, we're scoring points. Just make them drive and hold them to field goals.
Yeah.
You know, and don't do anything dumb. Where, you know, you start getting in maybe some of the talent equated situations, maybe especially against college guys who aren't they haven't seen as much as NFL guys. As younger dudes, let's go heat them up. Let's go see what we can do. And maybe that's a little bit of something of him being in the college game for the first time in 20 years.
So when you look at the last 2.5 weeks then, and Bob, you're talking about veteran guys and experience.
Saw Bo Atkinson in there. He's sticking around. He's a veteran guy.
Sticking around, but you have, you know, you look at Terry Moore or Earl Little or Kyle Parker or Jacoby Jackson, some of these pickups.
I don't know any of those guys yet.
You're going to have to get to meet them, but at least if you look at the resume and their body of work and their experience, like it feels targeted. It feels like Birm, there was a plan. I know that was the big conversation a week ago. Does Ohio State have a plan?
To get veteran in the secondary.
Will they execute a plan? It very much looks like they did. Now, you still have to get into workouts and mat drills and spring ball and training camp to know if they aced every evaluation, because last year we know that they really didn't with the transfer portal class. But
also last year they got a late jump. Part of it is
like no jump.
Yeah, no jump. I mean, and people are like, "Oh, the portal class last year was terrible." Well, would you rather had a better portal class and lost to Notre Dame?
See, I don't even know, and I'm guilty of this as well, because I've said something similar in the past, but I've been sort of given a different perspective, which is Ohio State, the majority of the guys that they added in the portal happened while they were in the playoffs, right? So the Ethan Anion was guys like that. I don't know that it was necessarily like the timing. I think it was when you look at what Ohio State actually had coming back.
Yeah.
Like, they just had the best defense in the country after losing 9 starters. So you had guys you really trusted.
Yes.
That you were like, well, yeah, but we don't need to go get a crazy defensive end because we've got Caden Curry who's going to get 11 sacks.
Well,
we've got Arvell Reese and we don't have to do the same. Like, this year you had to get starters on defense.
Yeah, well, the situation is reversed, because if you're talking about Ethan Onyanwa or Max Clare, like, the offense had to retool and they had to be involved in the portal, and I don't think that they aced that really by any.
No, I think there were certainly questions about the evaluation, but then you get into the real question of, well, yeah, you're also trying to win a national championship. Can you get a full evaluation? Do you have the opportunity to really take a step back and rewatch everyone because you're trying to beat,
especially with a time crunch, you're just trying to beat
Tennessee,
everybody else to get.
Plus,
that
last year the transfer portal, the signing day was the same week of the Tennessee game. Like, there was all the other stuff. Yeah. So like it was just like kind of like, I don't.
I mean, this year was the week of the.
How do they keep messing?
Championships.
How do they keep messing it up? I just don't get it.
It's cool.
Well, because they don't actually.
They don't talk to anybody that is actually. Yes.
No, that's exactly right.
It is absolutely ridiculous.
They
think of the worst thing they could do is be like, great.
They don't talk to the football people and ask, what are your opinions?
So stupid.
Let's move it back from during the week of the playoff. Move it back a couple of weeks. Maybe one. No. Go 2 or 3. Yeah, the week of the that's this one.
Perfect. Right there.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's
the
say
sweet
that'll
spot.
do.
That'll do.
I mean, but you look at it now, do you feel comfortable with what Ohio State did in the last couple of weeks? Because I think the NFL draft decisions, that went about as well as Ohio State could have hoped for.
Yeah.
We don't know what the results are going to be like with the portal class, but they signed 28 kids at the start of December. So you look at the pieces here, and again, On3 has them as the way too early for whatever that means, number one. I think outside of, I guess in Columbus, there was just this hand-wringing about what was going on and if Ohio State was being aggressive enough. And everywhere else around the country, it's like, they have Julian Sayin back, and Ryan Day's the head coach, and Jeremiah Smith is on that team. And if if they're able to withstand these pushes for Matt Patricia, you just assume that defense is going to be really good.
Their offensive line is coming back.
I had a dream last night that he took the Buffalo job.
No, don't do that, Bob.
I woke up and checked my phone. I was like, I think real? That's going on. It was like 3:30 in the morning.
You need to unplug.
You're
spending too much time online.
You and Nicole are just taking notes in the middle of the night.
When I look at it, I think like you are as a program adapting to what's happening in college football. I think as a fan base, like you're still wanting to be like, well, Ohio State is Ohio State. The game isn't changing. We're always going to be at the top, and that's probably true. But knowing that the road you have to take to get there is changing considerably, like you are going to be annoyed when you see 4- and 5-star kids that Ohio State recruited a year ago transfer. Like, and we talked about it last week, but there's a number of reasons each story happens.
They're all individual to each guy. It's not like there's some underlying theme.
No, but they are a bigger part of like the restructuring of college football. And when you look at the teams that were in the playoff and Ohio State, not really withstanding, everybody's old. The teams are all old. Like, I mean, Dante Moore's coming back to Oregon. Like this.
I mean, look at them. They're old.
They're old, and Ohio State is young. And they had this year was kind of weird because the defense was old but inexperienced.
Yes, that was like that's what you said. Getting in the portal, were you going to go get somebody to replace Arvell Reese? He'd never really played a ton. Replacing Caden Curry, Kenyatta Jackson. I mean, these are guys like we didn't really know about them, but they were going to play, and they'd been here for a while.
So now you get old and experienced, but they're experienced elsewhere. So now you see how that works, and it's just the game is changing, and Ohio State fans have to realize it. And like it sucks for Ohio State fans because you're used to one way for 100 years, and like that doesn't exist anymore until the sport completely implodes in 2 or 3 years and they have to start over.
And nobody likes change, but sitting here last week, if you were like, well, the way too early top 25 is going to have Ohio State number 1, you'd be like, well, what happened? Because it didn't feel like that, And so I think people will start to calm down a little bit.
When you look at the rooms, like they got a lot more veteran on the back end, handled the running back situation, kept Bo. That was a big deal. Add a little bit there.
Kenyatta back. I mean,
get a little bit of experience
kind of
at receiver. Add some depth at some other places. Offensive line, do some things. Add a kicker.
Yeah, I think
inconsequential.
I think fans just feel better about the unknown if it's a guy that was on your team, and then if you have to go to the unknown with someone that wasn't on your team, and like because Ohio State has preached this developed here, because the recruiting has been so good, you just naturally assume, well, the next guy in line at Ohio State is going to be ready to go. And then when the next guy in line leaves, you're like, well, wait a second. That doesn't make any sense. Why would they leave? Something must be wrong. The rats are fleeing the ship. The boat must be sinking. And, like, that's not the case. They're just saying, well, if we have to choose between paying a guy that's played 40 games and a guy that's played 2 games, even if the guy that played 2 games is a Buckeye, maybe the guy that played 40 games makes more sense. And when you look around college football, it's hard to argue it.
And sometimes there are just bigger blocks of cheese on other ships.
Jeez.
For Baxter?
Yeah.
Did Aaron Scott go to Oregon?
He did.
Okay. I didn't know if that was.
But again, like that's weird,
I didn't know if that was
right?
in my dream.
No, that one was real.
See, this is where I think the fans get frustrated because you look at Oregon and the presumption and the conversation, the narrative around Aaron's departure was that, hey, he wants to be a starter. Right? And so great. Here's an opportunity to go start somewhere. That doesn't really exist at Oregon. He's walking into exact same situation there as he left Ohio State. Probably worse because Oregon has 5-stars like Naeem Offord and Dorian Brew and other stuff like that that they're paying a lot of money out of high school. And so now you still have Brandon Finney, you still have your other start so you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And so Ohio State fans are like, well, then he just went there for money. Because what's the difference?
That's maybe part of it too.
So like it's like, it all sucks, but this is life.
Well, that sounds fun.
You see the world falling apart, and all you can say is,
some people
it just sucks.
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Maybe we're falling apart too.
The wildest part is that the 2025 college football season is finally over on January 19th. And
next year we got a whole another week.
We'll still have one more week.
Can they fix that too, please?
And the wildest part is that it's the 2026 football season has begun on January 20th.
It actually started on January 1st.
Oops.
So next year will be what, like 370
the 27th
days.
The 27th of January in Santa Clara.
Is that
Las
the
Vegas.
one after?
Oh, it's Las Vegas.
Vegas next year. Which I'm excited. I'm going regardless.
It's real simple, folks. Week 0 becomes week 1. 1 off week. Everyone's done by the 2nd week of January, and we can then just have the portal and signing day and everything right now.
Well, you're not going to get your way for the 2026
I'm never going to get
The schedule will be out next Tuesday, a week from now. It'll be an appetizer Thursday. Not sure what the special is. I know right now it's mac and cheese bites.
So good. No, they're so good. I can't
But
wait.
I think Ohio State's probably going to have 2 off weeks again, and we'll break down that schedule as soon as
Wait,
we
they'll
get
have
it.
2 bye weeks?
Every year now.
What it looks like is
If
going
the
to be
season doesn't
case.
end until the 27th, you might have 3.
I don't know. They're formalizing the plan. What I have seen for Ohio State would include 2 off weeks, and I think it'll probably be a more manageable road schedule than it could be. But we'll wait and see that when it's actually official because Tony Petitti has decided that he doesn't need to put out a 26 schedule until the end of January, which I'm sure Quinn Temple loves because it's very easy to book all the hotels and flights for 100-man football teams and coaching staffs and all that on short notice. But whatever, that's none of my business.
I mean, the NFL doesn't release theirs till like April, so let's hang around, wait a little bit.
Well, don't give Tony any ideas.
Just leak out some of the big games, some of the big dates there,
Well, they did that because we know that Ohio State, Indiana is October 17th in Bloomington. Bob is saying right now it's going to be a big noon kickoff. So that is breaking news on the live show at Roosters, which is a fun casual joint. Thanks to Nicole Cox and the team on Olentangy. This is the finest location in the known world.
I have not been to the Holland location yet because
it's 2 stories. You better get there.
I'm going to be there soon. Can't wait. I will not go there until I can eat mac and cheese bites. So give me another week.
Fair enough.
And then
why don't you just cut off a limb?
He's awake now.
I thought about it.
Did you write that ad?
No, I didn't.
Okay. That was
See my
surprising.
jawline?
Thanks to Tansky.
I didn't write that either.
And Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems.
If the Awaken 180 people like my jawline, I'm not going to tell them not to like it.
Yeah, they should, and they love it. He's Birm. That's Justin Zwick. Bobby Carpenter. I am Austin Ward. Enjoy the rest of your weeks, folks. The 2026 season is already underway, and I can't wait to break it down with you again next Monday at Roosters, a fun casual joint.